I rushed as quickly as I could. My hair is literally still wet, and I'm still getting this out later than I wanted. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today is a big day. We are going to be talking about all the announcements that they made regarding Demon Slayer and the first movie that were released last night. It was like at 3 a.m. my time. So we're gonna dive right into it, but before we do, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on the news. Just keep it respectful. I'm seeing a lot of disrespect on the internet, which we're gonna talk about a little bit later in this video, because we always have to. Demon Slayer fandom, I love you. I promise. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I make a new video. I am going to be keeping you all updated as quickly and as efficiently as I can throughout the year as we prepare to see this movie later on. So you definitely want to subscribe, turn on those notifications so you can see all my videos regarding this. But we're going to dive right in. So I'm going to section this video off kind of into probably 3 parts. I'm first going to just run through everything that they announced. I'm not really going to give my opinions on anything. I'm just going to say exactly what happened. And then I'm going to talk about what they didn't announce that I thought they might announce and kind of give my opinions in that section. And then the final part will just be a conversation that we always got to have with the Demon Slayer fandom, because y'all are very predictable and I love you. I'm a part of you. But sometimes I feel like I am a mother that has to tough love some of y'all to get you to just be a normal human being. So we're going to talk about that at the end, but let's get into it. So, like I said, this first part, I'm not going to give my opinions. I'm just going to give you the down low on what was announced, what is important, and I'm going to do this in order of importance. So I'll start with the thing that everyone wants to know, and then I'll end with the things that just are kind of happening so that you are aware that it's going on, and it kind of pertains to me a little bit so you can understand what the next few months are going to look like on the channel as well. So, number 1. We did get the domestic release date, as they said that was what they were going to announce. We got the domestic release date. It is July 18th. Again, domestic means this is the release date for the movie nationwide, meaning Japan. So if you're not Japanese, we do have to wait a little bit longer. We don't know exactly when. I'll talk about that in a moment, but it is going to be coming out in Japan on July 18th. We did get a new promotional reel and a new promotional poster, like an artwork of it. I will put the artwork right here. It's gorgeous. This is lovely. I'm very excited about this. The promotional reel I'll put in the description. I will just let you all know now, there's not really any new visuals to it. They have a few new still visuals in it, but nothing moving. So this is still a very early on promotional reel. It's not the official trailer. The trailer will come out in a few months, but there's not really much to watch in it. Also, I'm going to put the Japanese and the English version. The Japanese has that July 18th date because that's when it comes out in Japan. The English version still just says 2025, so there's not really anything new regarding that. So that was the main announcement that they made. The next thing I want to talk about is Hinokami Chronicles 2. Now, if you don't know, Hinokami Chronicles 2, of course, is the sequel to Hinokami Chronicles, which is a video game that's kind of like a story game. You can play through the story and fight the demons and all that stuff. I have the first one. It's a lot of fun. They are doing a sequel. The first one covered all the way up until the end of Mugen Train, and the second one will cover all the way to the end of Hashira training, and that is going to come out on August 4th, and this seems also to be a worldwide release, as the English Kimitsu account did post about this as well. Just keep in mind that this August 4th date apparently does not include Nintendo Switch, which is kind of crazy. I feel like Nintendo Switch is usually the first one to get it, so they said Nintendo Switch will be released at a later date, but this August 4th date is for like Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, etc., and you can also pre-order it starting on March 3rd, which is just a couple days away. So if you're interested, then go ahead and make your reservation for that game. I am very excited. I might get it on Steam so I can stream it. Who knows? Let me know. Do you want me to stream Hinokami Chronicles 2? I'm not a gamer, but I'll stream that one, so let me know in the comments. The next thing I wanted to talk about, what they announced, was the Kimitsu party, which is the live reading of Hashira training. Unfortunately, this will be on May 4th, which is the day after I leave Japan. The literal day. I leave on May 3rd. That one hurts. They're also doing an orchestra concert on the 3rd, but that is after my flight takes off as well, so I won't be able to go to that one either. But they will be doing that live reading that they do after each season. There's a whole production with it. There's a bunch of voice actors attending, and It seems like a lot of fun. I was really hoping to get to go this year because I was in Japan for April, and usually it's in April, but they had to move it to May for whatever reason. I will not be able to go, but that's when it's happening. And then finally, this seems to be specific to Japan as well, but they're releasing like the entire show leading up to the movie coming out in July in theaters. So like April, it's going to be all of the mini arcs within the Kamado Tanjiro Unwavering Resolve arc, and then in May they're going to have the Mugen Train and Entertainment District, and then in June they're going to have Swordsmith Village and Hashira Training, and then July will be like the last episode of Hashira Training leading right up to the movie coming out. This doesn't seem to be anywhere else. This seems to be specific to Japan. But while I'm in Japan, there will be the first season playing pretty much the entire month. I could pick whatever I want and go to it, because it seems to be nationwide as well. I might go to the Mount Natsugumo arc. Might go see that in theaters. I love Hinokami. It's one of my favorite episodes in the show, so getting to see that on the big screen might be something that I'm interested in doing. I'll let you all know. That's going to kind of be just spur of the moment if we feel like doing that, because there won't be subtitles. I am learning Japanese, but I can't follow anime that well yet. However, I have watched it so many times, I have the gist of what's going on if I don't have the subtitles in front of me, so. But that's pretty much all that they announced that I wrote down to put in this video. So the release date in Japan is July 18th. The release date of Hinokami Chronicles 2 is August 4th. Kimitsu Party, aka the live reading of Hashira Training, is May 4th. And then they are releasing the entire show in theaters leading up to the movie in Japan. Okay, now that I just kind of speed run everything that happened, I want to kind of talk about what they didn't announce, and also just talk about my thoughts and opinions on everything that happened and give some predictions of what I think the next few months are going to look like. That will segue into the third and final part in a moment. So, couple things. Number one, they obviously did not announce the worldwide date of the movie coming out. They did release the English version of the trailer with subtitles, and then, everything was in English instead of kanji, and they did just say 2025, so they still are not releasing the date worldwide. Yes, there still is the extreme possibility that it'll come out in September. If you've seen my other videos, couple months ago, thenumbers.com, which is a legit box office website, had an unnamed Aniplex Sony Crunchyroll movie that was set to release on September 12th. That website covers US and Canada, so it was kind of obvious that means that that's the Demon Slayer movie. However, I have talked to friends who are very much into the movie industry, and they did say that stuff that gets released to box office early, those are subject to change. They usually rotate quite a few times. However, the likelihood that it'll stay at least around that date is very likely. So I'm still kind of assuming it'll come out sometime in September. That's about a 2-month delay from it hitting theaters in Japan, which I think is pretty realistic of an expectation of a delay. I know a lot of people were hoping for no delay. I never felt like that was going to happen. It would be great. It would be amazing because leak culture sucks. And this means I'm probably going to go 2 months without being able to touch Twitter unless I want to know where the movie ends and see a bunch of visuals that I can't ignore because it's just people post it like it's, a picture of their mom. I don't know. Reminder, I will not be talking about leaks that come out. That is illegal, okay? Posting leaks, talking about leaks, illegal. They're cracking down. They will fine. It's also just rude. It's rude to the production company. It's not a good culture. So if you really can't wait and you want to see leaks, search them out yourself, but don't post them. Don't repost them. And if you do, note that you might get fined, that you're conducting illegal actions, and at least censor it so that people who don't want to see it don't have to be subject to seeing it. Please? Okay. But yeah, we did not get any worldwide dates yet. I would assume, my prediction is that they'll probably announce a worldwide date sometime June-ish is I think the best prediction. That's where I would assume we can expect them to release, okay, it's coming out in US and Canada on September 12th or whatever. Something they also did not announce, and this is kind of interesting. I understand being a little bit disappointed with them not announcing anything worldwide because they did label Kimetsu TV The World as Kimetsu TV The World, but they didn't do what they did last time, which was The World, and they didn't add subtitles, they didn't simultaneously broadcast it across all their Aniplex channels. They didn't release any information that pertains to America, so I don't really know why they labeled it the world. I think that did set up expectations a little bit too high. It's not that big of a deal. Don't come after Aniplex. They never said that they were going to announce anything worldwide. They literally always said they were just going to announce the release date of the domestic release of the movie. But it was interesting that they labeled it the world and didn't say anything about the world. So they did not announce any type of world tour. Now, I wasn't really expecting them to do a world tour like they've done the last 2 years. And the world tour, of course, was that like kind of recap movie where they showed the last episode of the previous season and the first episode of the next season. I was thinking they still might. The final episode of Hashira Training is a great episode, deserves to be viewed on the big screen, TBH. So I was like, maybe they'll do the last episode of Hashira Training and a sneak preview of the first movie. With them not announcing anything like that here, I can say for a fact it's not going to happen. They are not planning on doing that this year. But they didn't announce any like premiere dates for any other countries, probably because they're not ready to announce the release dates worldwide yet. I think there's probably some other countries that are struggling to get, the rights to get it into theaters. So they're probably waiting until every country that they want to release this movie can be ready to announce the release date, which again, I think will probably be June-ish. Some anime movies don't announce worldwide dates until after it's been out in Japan for a little while, but Demon Slayer is a different breed because it's so popular. It's getting a probably much shorter hiatus. I think they will announce those worldwide dates a little bit before it comes out in Japan. I could be wrong. I'm just speaking on conjecture. This is just my educated guesses based off of what they've done in the past. But I think that we can expect those worldwide release dates to start to come out in June-ish. And then I do still think they're going to do a world tour where they just do premieres for the movie itself around the world. They're just not ready to announce those dates yet. Again, I mean, if you take the timeline from the last 2 world tours, they announced those premiere dates a month and a half before they started. So they probably, because of logistics and getting voice actors and figuring out theaters and places to have it, I would assume they would want to make it bigger this year. So I do still think they're probably going to do a world tour just for the movie itself where we'll have those premieres. But I think that, again, that will maybe that will be announced in May. So maybe we'll get worldwide dates in May because they would probably announce the first premiere being in Japan for the July 18th release date. So they did not announce anything like that. I'm just giving my predictions. I do still think that premieres will happen. We just don't know yet. They just didn't announce those yet because they're probably still figuring out the logistics. Those are really the only things that I was thinking were going to happen that they didn't announce. Again, it's just because there was Kimetsu TV The World. You can't help but expect them to announce things that are prevalent to the world, but they really didn't. They just kept things located to Japan. So it is what it is. Again, don't send hate to Aniplex, the Kimetsu official account. Don't be disrespecting the voice actors saying we don't care about them, because people do care about them. My disappointment kind of lies more within the live reading, not being the day after I leave. If it were even a week later, I think it wouldn't be as hard, but it's so close yet so far. It being the day after I leave, if they had announced this even a month ago, I probably might have been able to shift my trip just a week later and been able to go. But because they waited until now, we are in the final stretch before I go, I can't do it. Like, we're booked. We're done. It's disappointing. But that's a specific disappointment for me personally. I'm just talking now. But we're gonna have a lot of stuff happening. If Kimetsu Fest does end up happening that weekend that they've announced the live reading and the orchestra concert, I would assume that's when we'll probably get a full trailer. Like, that'll be the final trailer before it comes out in July. That's about 2 months ahead of time. That kind of checks out, and that might be also when worldwide release dates come out and they announce like a world tour of premieres. That's my best guess, I would say. That would make sense, because I want to say this is my segue into the third part. We are not getting anything new at Anime Japan, and we are not getting anything new at anything that is not Demon Slayer related. It has been a few hours since this information came out, and I have already seen so many people think that we're getting the next trailer at Anime Japan. Not to beat something that has already been beat down multiple times on this channel, but the Demon Slayer fandom continues to prove that this needs to be beaten down more because we're still thinking this way. We are not getting anything new at Anime Japan. If I were a gambling person, I would bet money that we are not getting anything new at Anime Japan. First off, it's in a few weeks. They are not going to spend all this time hyping us up for this event and then just release more important information 3 weeks later at an event, okay? They're not going to do that. That's not how their timeline works. We've got information. We need to wait a couple months before we start expecting more information. And then it'll start to just trickle in until it's time to go see the movie. Number 2 is, again, I say it, they do not make announcements at non-Demon Slayer events. Anime Japan is not a Demon Slayer event. It is an anime event that Demon Slayer attends. So what's going to happen is the voice actors are going to go out on that stage. They are going to hype up what has already been announced. They're going to talk about how excited they are that the movie is going to come out in a few months. They're going to talk about how excited they are for X, Y, and Z. They are not going to release anything else. And for the love of God, if you're mad about it, stop disrespecting the voice actors and saying, I don't care about their yapping, because people care about their yapping. People love those events. The voice actors have nothing to do with the marketing. The voice actors have nothing to do about when things come out. They are in charge of voicing our favorite characters. They are in charge of bringing our favorite characters to life on the screen. You do not aim any of your hatred towards the marketing team at them. They're just doing their jobs. So, no, we're not getting anything at Anime Japan. Get that out of your mind now. It's not happening. I would bet money that it's not happening. They don't release information on those dates. They just hype up what has already been announced. The Kimitsu official account will straight up say, they'll say a couple weeks in advance of something, we're going to have this event. At this event, we're going to announce X, Y, and Z. They tell us. They're like, straight up, man. Just so you know, here's an announcement of an announcement. That's just the way they do things, and that's cool. That's worked for them. So, like, you can disagree with their marketing all you want. That is okay. It is okay to have feelings. It is okay to be disappointed today that we only got the domestic release date. If you were expecting more because it was Kimitsu TV The World, it's okay if you just don't understand the way they market things, because even to me sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense the way they gatekeep information and that sort of thing. But it works for them. Demon Slayer is incredibly popular. It does not need a huge marketing budget, and I think what they're doing is simply not putting that much money into marketing and instead taking that budget and putting it into the anime itself, which I prefer, because it's been proven time and time again that people are going to go watch it. They don't need to market it that much because people are going to go watch it. It is that popular. It is so popular in Japan that over 500,000 people submitted to play trivia for this event. That they could get a crowd when they just announced where the location was in Ikebukuro, yesterday, to show up and be super excited to see the mini Taishi, which is the, big mascots, by the way. Why would they throw more money into marketing when they don't need to? Okay? This is not a Hollywood production. This is a Japanese production, and they do what works for them. Whether you agree with it or not, it does not matter. They don't care about what Western fans think. They do things that work for them, and this has been working for them. So why fix something that isn't broken? And again, I say, you are valid in feeling disappointed. You are valid in being confused about the marketing of Demon Slayer, because a lot of people will agree it's kind of strange. But don't be weird on the internet about it. You don't need to whine and complain and tag the Kimitsu official account about your complaints. If you had a laundry list of things that you wanted before this announcement today and those things were not met, that's on you. If you are disappointed, be disappointed with yourself, because they're consistent with this. Expecting anything more than what they announced is proven time and time again to be a bad idea. And I don't say these things to be mean or to bop you on the hand and say bad. We as a fandom need to be more respectful of the studio and production company that is giving us such a beautiful anime. Because they don't have to put so much effort into their marketing, we get more budget for the anime itself, which I think we can all agree is a good thing. If you love the show, go watch the movie. Just go enjoy it. It does not matter how many trailers you got ahead of time. It does not matter how long it took them to announce something. I understand being impatient. I understand wanting to know when you're going to be able to go to the theaters to watch it. And just having respect for the production company and the studio that gives us such a beautiful show should be the bare minimum of what we're doing, and yet we're not, because we're mad that they show us a promotional reel, which is what they do every time, that doesn't really have any new visuals in it. I don't care about seeing new visuals before I go see the movie. The less the better, honestly. I have friends who will love it whether they market it or not. I'm gonna go see it with friends whether they have a ton of marketing for it or not. You shouldn't care that much about the marketing. If you love the show, you love the show. And it's worked for them. So go watch it. But I think that's pretty much it for today's video. Again, I'm gonna keep y'all as updated as I can, as quickly as I can when information comes out. Just keep in mind though, if they do make any type of announcements while I'm in Japan, it'll probably be a little bit harder for me to make content about it because I'm not planning on bringing this camera. My content while I'm in Japan is going to be a lot more like vlog style, and most of it's not going to come out till after I get home just because I don't want to spend a ton of time on my vacation editing because I hate editing. Editing is my least favorite thing about doing content. It's so tedious. I hate it. I hate editing. I don't love that process. So I don't want to force myself to do it a ton while I'm on vacation. I probably will still do it a little bit so I can get some vlogs out while I'm still there. But that's just like my heads up. If things happen while I'm there, I'm probably not going to be super quick to making a post about it. I'll make a TikTok about it. I'll make a short about it, but I won't make a long because I'm trying to not have to edit a ton. I want to explore. I want to like experience Japan while I'm there. So that's kind of the plan for that. But that being said, I'm still very excited. Guys, Demon Slayer, like, we're getting into the final arc. I don't know how to feel about that, actually. I am both very excited and very scared to see what is to come animated. But it's the year of Demon Slayer. It's the year of the first movie. Very excited about it. That is it for today's video. If you liked it, again, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Your thoughts on all the announcements. I just, again, ask that you keep it respectful. Do not hate on Ufotable, Aniplex, or anyone else involved with the production of the series. They're doing their best. They're doing what works for them. And that's that. You can also follow me on social media. I usually post about this stuff a little bit earlier on like Instagram. I'll post it to my story. I already have posts about it on my story now. So follow me on Instagram at Hannah Malay and follow me on TikTok and X. X gets like the immediate thoughts. Looking Nerdy on TikTok and X. But with that, I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching today's video. And as always, mata ne!